Robert Hourihan, 33's disappearance in April 2011 left not only investigators puzzled, but his family as well. The day Robert vanished, he got up and put on his work uniform and left the house at his regular time, driving the opposite direction of work. His wife would later discover that Robert had the day off from work, but he didn't tell her that. Instead of going to work, Robert stopped at a local grocery store and had breakfast. And he was well known at this local stop because he used to work there. And that was the last time anyone has seen him. The car he was driving would be found 5 days later, abandoned in a Target parking lot in Maryland, over 115 miles away from his home, with no trace of Robert. His case remains unsolved. Before Robert's disappearance, he had been married almost 13 years, and him and his wife shared a daughter together. Tara and Robert met when they were both kids. They rode the same school bus together and went to the same church, and Robert was Tara's first love. When Robert learned that Tara had a crush on him, he told her that he wished he knew sooner and immediately asked her out, and they had been together ever since. His wife Tara describes their relationship as a close and loving one. She says that he would never abandon their daughter, and she doesn't believe that he was unfaithful or used drugs. On the morning of April 8th, 2011, Robert woke up, put on his work uniform, and Tara went into the kitchen and prepared his lunch and coffee and made sure that he took his heart medication, something she did every morning. Robert left his house around 6:30 a.m. to go to a job as an electrician in Richmond. The thing is, he wasn't scheduled that day, and Tara was completely unaware of this. Robert drove Tara's white 2004 Chevy Cavalier, but instead of going to work, Robert drove northwest on Route 53. He stopped and had breakfast at the E.W. Thomas grocery store in Palmyra around 8 a.m. Robert had worked at this grocery store previously and was well known, so witnesses were easily able to identify him. At some point in the day, he had plans to meet up with a male friend, but he never arrived for that meeting. So the last official sighting of Robert was at the grocery store around 8 a.m. When Robert didn't return home that night, Tara knew something was wrong, and she began texting and calling his phone, but he never answered. She reached out to his friends and family, and no one else had heard from him all day either. On top of confirming that Robert's last official sighting was at the grocery store, investigators with the Fluvanna County Sheriff's Office also checked his cell phone records, and it was determined that his last call was at 7:41 a.m., and at this time he was in Palmyra. 5 days later, on May 28th, the car Robert was driving was found at the edge of the parking lot of a Target store in La Plata, Maryland, about 115 miles away from his home. Inside the car, they found some of Robert's belongings, his brown work shirt, and his valuable electrician tools. The car showed no evidence of a crime, and investigators did try to get security footage from the Target, but by the time they discovered Robert's car, the footage had already been recorded over. Tara told investigators that they didn't know anybody in Maryland, and she didn't know why Robert would travel there. She believed he was most likely murdered because there was no way he would abandon their daughter. Major Wells, who was assigned to Robert's case from the beginning, told Dateline that foul play is suspected in Robert's disappearance